and I'm going to talk about how to get negativity out of your life and what to do to just be able to get rid of it easily. I'm finding it harder to concentrate with Little around, but never mind. What's happened is that for the past 3 months, I've been feeling much better than I have in my entire life. And I just want to know what actually happened. How have I become not just neutrally minded and feeling okay, but actually actively positive, actively wanting to help other people become the best version of themselves as well, because that's what I really want to be doing at the moment. But the point of this is saying no to the bad vibes it basically comes from a point where you've truly had enough, where unfortunately most of the best people in this world unfortunately have gone through hell and back in order to get to the place where they are now. It's a sad fact, but it just makes you a better person to have experienced hard times. I know as well, I've had hard times for years and years. Yeah, childhood wasn't a great experience, but the point is, if it gets you where you are today, then that's the main thing. And in the summer, basically, it just got to this point where I was fed up of feeling down all the time and definitely wanting to get on with life, do more things. And you probably wouldn't imagine it, but the tennis balls at Parliament played a massive part in that. Why? Because it was like you was infusing all of your negativity into those balls and you was throwing it back to the source, i.e. the people inside Parliament, i.e. the people who have caused so much pain over the past few months. And that was the first part, but it really did it. It was like after that, after you sent them the karma back, everything suddenly started to change. Personally, I do also sports where I've been trying ages and ages to get certain techniques right and to be able to do them well. I've been practicing the same jumps and spins for a year or more and getting annoyed, and then eventually, after I went through a challenge which involved going up a hill on a hot day when my head was spinning and I nearly fell over, somehow got there. But after that, it just felt like on that day that was the final block that was needed to go away before finally being able to unwind and then just get everything right. I was at the ice rink and that was the happiest sports session that I'd ever done there. Don't know why, just everything started to work from that moment onwards. I don't know why, but I thought after that, so this is what real happiness feels like. You know, everything's starting to work, falling into its place and so on, and I want it to continue. Then a few days later, I had some bad news from my mum. She was saying stuff like, yeah, your family is not in a good state at the moment. I've just had my first jab, oh no. And then the government, they're introducing more measures again. And the thing is, this point, I was just disgusted. I was thinking, excuse me, I've just gone through so many hard times to get to this happiness, to be able to do my sport, being able to do it properly, and suddenly you're giving me this bad news. And at that point, just said no. Enough is enough. I'm not taking this anymore. I'm not letting it go on board. and and get annoyed about it, not going to switch it on. It doesn't mean that bad things happen and you don't care anymore. It's this mindset doesn't mean that if you have grief, you have loss, bereavement or anything, yeah, you get angry. You're still human. You're going to have lapses sometimes. But that's not going to go away completely. But having a positive mindset on the whole is going to improve things greatly. And it will mean that you're able to be laughing again, maybe in the next hour or so, maybe by the next day. It just means that you won't be wallowing in that dark hole for months and months, maybe years on end. That's what it's about. So now that I've gone through the actual story, I'm now going to break it down into 10 doable steps that you can just practice in your own time. Now, essentially, first things first, you've got to get the toxicity out of your life. Whether you're attached to it or you're not, this might be a negative situation, a person, a job, another place. If it doesn't align with you, you'll know about it, because it will be one thing or several that's constantly dragging you down, that is holding you back from just getting on with life, you know? So whether you like it or not, you will have to take steps to slowly or fast, whatever, to get that out and smooth things. Also, you, as well as doing this physically, you can also cut out the negativity in a mental way. You can do your own equivalent of the tennis ball story, yeah? Something that is either a ritual or it's meaningful to you personally. You don't have to go to Parliament, obviously, to chuck tennis balls at them, but just have a think of your own way of being able to drop that and carry on as normal. This is quite important, because in order to be a happy person, you have to have this together. You've got to be stable. If it's not, then you can't move on to this next step. Basically, gratitude as well. No matter what happens, you're always just thankful. You don't just say thank you to people, but actually feel it. You've got to feel, yeah, I'm actually got more than I think. You know, you compare it to someone who doesn't have a home, who doesn't have food, who hasn't got something. Just count your blessings more regularly, I suppose. Just think about it. You don't have to make it into something religious if you don't want to, but just on a personal basis. As well as that, finding goodness out of just small things. Just, I don't know, the sun's shining on me today. I mean, it isn't today, but also, oh, that person, like a stranger, they've just done me a favour. Well, thank you, that's really nice. Or just appreciate beautiful flower, just anything. Also, having said that, keep your connection in nature. I tend to do my videos in nature because that is best place where it can concentrate. You've got to realise that you're still part of the whole. You're not something separate. You're a human, but that doesn't make you better than any other kind of creature. You just accept your part in the grand scheme of things, and when you do that, it starts working for you as well. It's harmony, you know, give and take. Can't have too much of one or the other. There is also, to become a happy person, being able to let go of your control of situations, of how you want something to go. Probably some of you are familiar with manifestation. but you've got to realise that it can't work properly if what you're trying to manifest isn't for the greater good of everything. So you might be attached to a really specific outcome and you say, I want it done like this, but if it's not attuned to what's really meant to happen, then you're just going against the flow. When you're giving up this sort of control, the flow works with you, and then you don't have to worry. This worry is bad for your head. If you are trusting the universe to do everything exactly as it's meant to do, which it does, then you're going to find that it will let you down a lot less often, and you'll be able to see that everything is right exactly how it is without us getting involved in it. There's another tactic: practice not giving a damn about other people judging you. There's a difference between hurting someone's feelings and just being self-conscious in public. Yeah, there's quite a big difference. You want to. A great way is obviously being public about your activism, if that's what you're into. Because this is, for me personally, that's one that took the longest of all to master. Just not worrying if people see me taking posters down, putting up my own stickers, voicing your opinions out loud. Some people find that hard. I found that hard. But with a bit of practice, that is going to make you feel a lot more free. And all of this leading up to eventually give and take, the balance, harmony. Once you have got yourself together and you're feeling in a higher place personally, you'll be in a position where you naturally want to help other people get to that as well. Because let's face it, who doesn't want to have a better lifestyle? That is 10 steps to pretty much unconditional happiness. Like, even if stupid or bad things do happen, you find that you just bounce back from it really quickly, and it doesn't matter in the long term. Just having trust that it all works out for the better. And if that wasn't clear enough, or if I could do something better, then please do tell me, because I'd like to know that this is going somewhere. Or if you want to develop further, then I would be more than happy to help you. And see you later. So basically, to summarise, what does this mean for you? Well, all the things I've gone through, it is pretty high level. You've got to be quite an experienced human spiritually to be able to make that shift and to decide what you do want in your life and what you don't. It essentially comes from the trust that the universe is going to set up everything for you as it's meant to happen. When you stop wanting to be in control of how every little detail turns out in your plans or in your life, then you realize that actually the way things turn out in reality are a whole lot better, and spontaneous things happen. Little things like animals that just appear in front of you, like bumping into someone who you haven't seen for years, and just all the little good things tying up during a day. Yeah, it's quite advanced, but everyone on the awakening journey is at a different stage at the moment. We've got to help each other. We have a common goal, so what's the point of fighting each other or disagreeing, because that's just going to drag us down. You can't hang around with people who drag you down, because that is just a drain on your energy, on all your good efforts and the things you're working on. It won't come into fruition, because you've got to have the intuition to know what is the best place for you to be and who to hang out with, and what you can do with your time to make things happen.